Welcome to Pioneer Racing Game Dev episode. We're 1 week before the release of my game and I will show you everything I've added since the last Game Dev episode. So, straight into it, we now have only 3 maps, but they are a bit more worked on. We have the tunnel that's still a tunnel, it's great to play. Alpine Road is just a road with some mountains, but it has some interesting turns. And Nova Frontier is not that. We have some buildings right now, I will show you. I've made every car myself from A to Z. I've changed everything, so everything that was not made by me has been deleted. So the only thing left in my game that's not entirely made by me is the music. So this is the whole new car. I made some new pieces for it. We can also change the color, and we don't have the options because I will completely change the car systems. So in some month all the car may be deleted to be replaced by other cars and another system. So we'll choose the light road car because it's a great compromise between a normal car and a race car to show you everything. My favorite map is of course this one. I will set expert mode and only 1 lap because we can go up to 99 laps, but it's just to show you every map. This is the first map, the most worked on. I mean, I spent the most time on that and it's not finished, and it's far from being finished. You can see on the left the pit stop building. You have a lot of control towers, a radar, and you have 12 places for each car, and you have 2 cars for each place. So it's a total of 24 cars at the maximum. I think I will add an option to control how many AIs are on the game. You have fences all around you, so you don't go really far. You also have sand to each corner if you go straight in and on turn, and you have little borders to show you that you can just go a little bit on that, not a lot. And we now use LODs, so it's something that makes simpler models of your car. For example, if here we have 1 million points for the car, with LODs in a greater distance, if the car is further away, you can have only 20,000. So it's really good for performance, and it helps my game achieving some pretty decent FPS. For example, right now I don't have bugs anymore, and we don't have lag. We have bugs, but not linked to that. And the game is pretty smooth, and if you have a very low-end computer, you can just go into the options and set on the graphic options the car quality. It's the LOD. You can see the car change. This is really bad visually because it's when the car is almost not visible. We just put that, and those are simpler versions. This one is pretty decent, and we have the 2 ones pretty much the same visually, but for the performance, trust me, it's not the same. And you came back to the same speed as you were before, so the pause thing is now updated. If I stop at 210 kilometers an hour, you take back, you're at the same speed, so that's very nice. You cannot cheat while just using pause to freeze the AIs that don't work anymore. So that's a pretty great bug fix, and we now have also fixed some bugs on the UI. I say we, but it's me. It's just because I say we as a game dev team, but I'm alone, so I'm the team, I might say. So you can see on the left, that's the complex for spectators. Of course it don't have inside because I haven't finished all the buildings yet. I want to make like 30 towers all around, so I'm gonna need a lot of work on that. I've already spent dozens of hours just making those 3 buildings. Of course you can drive in, you will have some nice visual things in here, like places you can put things on or other things, like a parking with some great lights in here, but that's not here yet. You just have the outside shell. And you can also go in here on the future parking. That will be a big parking, and that's the heliport. So that's for helicopters. I've seen somewhere on the internet that you need an heliport for F1 tracks, so I've put one. And as you can see, you have sometimes where the game became really fluid. It's when the other cars are getting far away. So yeah, here we have a big H for heliport, and that's a great view of the big complex. So we can admire the view just putting our car in front like that, and you can see the active arrow at the rear of the car, so pretty nice addition. So that's it for the Nova Frontier map. We can just go straight into the Alpine Road. For that one, I will suggest you to take a pretty slow car like the Hyundai, but I have shown it a lot of times before, so let's go with the Zenvo. That's pretty much the opposite of a slow car, but let's get right into it. So the Alpine Road, we keep the expert difficulty mode. And we do have random colors on the AIs. It's really nice because before they were all the same color as you, and that was pretty annoying. So this is the first bad turn. I mean, look at the AIs. I had to code them to respawn not at the same place because all were just crashing in here and respawning at the same place, and that was causing a lot of bugs. So I had to add a small random amount of movement when you respawn for the AIs, so they don't respawn quite on the middle of the road, and that pretty much fixed the thing. But as you can see, even with them crashing and not me, I'm still second. That's really difficult to win on the expert difficulty if you're not used to every map. And I'm not a car professional, so I might drive better because it's my game and I made all the maps, but that stops here. You can also see the minimap. It shows the border of the map. It's kind of a problem. I will fix that for the next maps, but this one is gonna disappear. I'm gonna delete it like I did for some others, so it's not kind of a big deal. And yeah, you can pretty much go by the AIs if you don't fear going without braking. And as you can see, if you just hit the AI, you can make it stop. But I was close to dying here because I had to respawn my car, but I'm first, so happy. And let's do the last race, last but not least, Tunnel Nightmare, just the name I've changed, and some lightning stuff. And oh yeah, now the sun is in a random position in the sky at the beginning. Yo, we'll restart to just change cars, and so you might see the sun appearing on a random position. So I've never drive this one for a video, I think, so let's do it. Change the color, and you can just see the sun is somewhere right over there, so it's a random position, and during the race it will start to set down. I don't think it's the right conjugation, but the sun will move in the sky, and as it gets on the bottom part, as the sun don't rise, the opposite, it will appear on the other side and rise again. So you pretty much have a day cycle. It's not a day-night cycle because as our front lights are not powerful enough, I will fix that for a next update. You can't see anything in the night. So I might add an option for the players to choose if they only want day or if they want a day-night cycle, and if so, you can just use your front lights to light up the road. This car is pretty much difficult to drive because it moves, it slips a bit, as you can see on the front car and on mine even. It's a little bit more dynamic than the others. It allows you to just how do you call that, drift a bit, So it's pretty funny. I let that. I could fix it, of course, obviously, to make it run like the other cars, smooth and straight. But I think it adds quite a lot to this car. It makes it unique and fun to drive. So I left this thing so you can just drift a bit with that, and it allows you to have more control over the trajectory because you can just drift on the inner part of the circuit, and it's amazing. I love this feeling, but it's not the best one for performance. It goes a little bit against the game thing, so I think I will try to find an option so you can control if you want your car to drift a bit or not. And here, this one, yeah, I stopped it. It slammed into me, and it's pretty much. I wanted it to do that because it's the only way you have to stop AIs from going over you. You need to get in front of them and brake a lot because they have a limited range of detection. So if you stop right in front of them, you will block their road and you have the opportunity to stay first. Here I'm not, so I might have let one person going forward, or sometimes if all the AIs crash in the same place, there's a bug where one just spawns back at the starting line, so I have to correct that. Anyway, that's not a big deal because it only happens once in a while if you do some crazy things like I did, but it's a bug and I want that to disappear. And also, if you've seen on the last maps, and you will see just right here, if you finish the race, finished text appears, but it doesn't stay long, so I have to fix that. It's supposed to stay 5 seconds. So yeah, here it was. One spawned right back on the starting line. I don't know why. And you've seen the finished text just appearing a fraction of seconds. I love this car because the option is not an opening roof, it's headlights, pop-up headlights, so it's kind of fun. I mean, you can see that popping up, and if we make that much brighter, it will light up differently if it's popped up or not. So it's a simple but nice addition. And of course I made the inside with the steering wheel moving, so it adds a lot. The only ones that don't have the steering wheel moving is the Zenvo, but I'm gonna work on that. That's not a big deal because not a lot of people play with the inside view, and if you like to play the inside view, just don't use the Zenvo if you don't want that to not steer. And fun fact, I've added some left and right turn lights, and on the beginning of the game it was blinking every time we would steer, but now I've removed that because of course on a race you don't blink, but I think I'm gonna add a button for you to decide if you want to blink or not, so that's gonna be an option. And of course I'm gonna add a manual driving mode. Pioneer Racing will be available on Steam from the 15th of April 2025. Don't miss that out. The price will be at 40% reduction the first week. And also, if you want to help me, you can subscribe, leave a like, comment, and watch my other videos on this game. And you will see every step I went through to make this whole game.